Welcome to day 53 of the Gospel of John Book Club. And in today's reading, cock-a-doodle-doo! Let the trial begin. That was random, right? You're like, what is going on today?
Yep.
I know. I figured I thought you. If nobody else got thrown off, you got thrown off by it. That was the reaction I was hoping to get. Like, I hate to say it, I love the scriptures and everything, but this might be the most fun part of this whole experience.
That was a good one. Okay. Our reading for today comes from John chapter 18, verses 19 to 42.
To 40.
To 40.
Yeah. You're eager. You're like 19 to 50. Like,
I'm just adding scriptures.
Just adding scriptures. All right.
Inside, the high priest began asking Jesus about his followers and what he had been teaching them. Jesus replied, "Everyone knows what I teach. I have preached regularly in the synagogue and the temple where the people gather. I have not spoken in secret. Why are you asking me this question? Ask those who heard me. They know what I said." Then one of the temple guards standing nearby slapped Jesus across the face. "Is that the way to answer the high priest?" he demanded. Jesus replied, "If I said anything wrong, you must prove it. But if I'm speaking the truth, why are you beating me?" Then Annas bound Jesus and sent him to Caiaphas, the high priest. Meanwhile, as Peter was standing by the fire warming himself, they asked him again, "You're not one of his disciples, are you?" He denied it, saying, "No, I am not." But one of the household slaves of the high priest, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, asked, "Didn't I see you out there in the olive grove with Jesus?" Again, Peter denied it, and immediately a rooster crowed. Jesus' trial before Caiaphas ended in the early hours of the morning. Then he was taken to the headquarters of the Roman governor. His accusers didn't go inside because it would defile them, and they wouldn't be allowed to celebrate the Passover. So Pilate, the governor, went out to them and asked, "What is your charge against this man?" "We wouldn't have handed him over to you if he weren't a criminal," they retorted. "Then take him away and judge him by your own law," Pilate told them. "Only the Romans are permitted to execute someone," the Jewish leaders replied. This fulfilled Jesus' prediction about the way he would die. Then Pilate went back into his headquarters and called for Jesus to be brought to him. "Are you the king of the Jews?" he asked him. Jesus replied, "Is this your own question, or did others tell you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate retorted. "Your own people and their leading priests brought you to me for trial. Why? What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not an earthly kingdom. If it were, my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish leaders. But my kingdom is not of this world." Pilate said, "So you are a king?" Jesus responded, "You say I am a king. Actually, I was born and came into the world to testify to the truth. All who love the truth recognize what I say is truth." "What is truth?" Pilate asked. Then he went out again to the people and told them, "He's not guilty of any crime. But you have a custom of asking me to release one prisoner each year at Passover. Would you like me to release this king of the Jews?" But they shouted back, "No, not this man. We want Barabbas." Barabbas was a revolutionary.
Yeah. So it's going down. So there's three separate instances, like trials, essentially. Yeah. One before the high priest, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas. We met Caiaphas a few chapters ago. Mm-hmm. Then, they sent him from Annas, the high priest, to Caiaphas, the high priest, and then from Caiaphas, the high priest. And they're just asking, like what's the situation? Like, and Jesus is like, time out. You guys know what's happening. Yeah. He's like, you guys know what's happening. I haven't been hidden. I've been teaching openly and publicly. Yeah. Like, why are you even asking me? Let's just kind of let's get this show on the road. Yeah. And they eventually, because, according to their Jewish customs, what was supposed to happen was that because they were really just claiming that he had been, accused of guilty of blasphemy. blasphemy against God, because he was basically calling himself God. And so to them that was blasphemous, although he proved himself to be God. And so that was their only charge. And so they take him to the Roman governor because they couldn't execute. They wanted execution, but they couldn't execute it. You know what I'm saying?
Because it was against their laws.
It was against the according, because they were under Roman authority.
Mm-hmm.
And so although they're the Jews, they lived under Roman rule and authority. And so according to the Roman law, they weren't able to execute, carry out an execution. So they had to take it up to the Roman court system, or the Roman judicial system, essentially. And the governor's like, well, he don't seem to be guilty of anything.
And they're doing this at night.
Yeah.
Is that customary?
No, I mean, I just think it just kind of happens to be the timing. I'm not sure what the implications of that are.
It's kind of odd to be doing a night trial.
Yeah. Well, for the Jews, that they were just trying to get at Jesus. So whatever opportunity they took, they were going to take it. So I mean, they came to that's the time where that exchange between Judas and the Jewish leaders was made. And so I think just that was just the timing of it.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get it to happen, and yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple of things to kind of tease out. They exchanged at the very end there. They exchanged, because the Roman governor Pilate's like, okay, listen, I don't see any guilt, but I'll tell you what, this is Passover time. Every year this time we release one prisoner. Okay, so I'll leave it up to you. Who do you want? And it's so crazy how Pilate wouldn't even take a stand. He knew what was the right thing to do. But
he knew something shady's going down.
Because of the pressure,
shady.
Because of the pressure of the moment of the situation, he kind of gave in. I think there's a partial fear on his part too, because he's like, okay, are you a king? Mm-hmm. And I think he wanted to also make sure, like, okay, you're not trying to come and take over, like somehow rule the Jews and now you're in competition with trying to free them from under our rule, and so is your kingdom gonna conflict with my kingdom? It's kind of, I think, was part of the questioning was. And Jesus is like, listen, my kingdom ain't even of this earth. And so I think that kind of set Pilate at ease a little bit. Yeah. Like, okay, well, he's not a threat here. Because I think otherwise, Pilate might have taken different actions. But he realized that there was no threat in Jesus. Mm-hmm. And so he said, listen, y'all seem so adamant about having this execution done, I'm going to give him back over to you. Like, what do you want me to do? I'll give you, here's this real criminal. And Barabbas, the thing about Barabbas had led a rebellion against the Roman government on behalf of the Jews.
Wow.
And so that's why he had been arrested. And he had also murdered someone through that process. And so it's kind of like what we kind of see in America that's happening right now, like a lot of resistance to the government, a lot of protesting and things of that nature. Yeah. Essentially, Barabbas was caught up in that kind of a dynamic and ended up kind of just really being out there. And so who do you want back, Jesus or Barabbas? And they're like, give us Barabbas.
I think even the exchange between Pilate and Jesus, where even Pilate, I'm guessing he's a Gentile. He's not Jewish.
Yeah, correct.
That he's not.
Yeah, because they even teased it out to the point where we saw that they wouldn't go into his courts. Into his dwelling, because
they're gonna defile themselves.
The custom at the time, when they're celebrating the Passover, a Jew going into a non-Jew's house, a Gentile is a non-Jew, and so a Jew going into a non-Jew's house made them unclean. And so the amazing part about that is that they put their Jewish customs over Jesus even.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think I love the exchange between him and Jesus, because it seems like Pilate knows that something else is happening here. To which at the end, when Jesus is like in 37, he says, all who love the truth recognize what I say is true. And then Pilate goes, what is truth?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's asking a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
It's just very sarcastic. Like, we know what's happening here. What's truth? We know, like, there is no truth in the case of what's happened in this law. Whatever is true is clearly based off of, like, this majority that's happening.
Exactly.
They're painting this picture of the truth.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're saying that you're coming to testify the truth, but, like, let's be honest. what is truth.
Yeah.
Like that can be bent, that could be any,
And I think we live in an era just like that right now, where people look and say, well, I'm living my truth.
Yeah.
And everything is about whatever I decide to be true is true. And Jesus,
I was like, you're
takes-
delusional here.
yeah, he's like, you're delusional.
delusional.
But that's the beautiful thing about Jesus, is that he flips what we believe is true on its head, and he really challenges us to say, hey, are you going to follow your own truth, or are you going to follow my truth?
And I think it also reveals Pilate's character here,
Mm.
where it's like, clearly this is something that's normal, that's happening, that he's not even, he knows that Jesus is not guilty of anything.
Yeah.
And rather than him just going and be like, I'm not doing this, he's not
Having some
guilty of
courage.
anything, it's clear that there is some kind of power dynamic that's happening between him and the Jews
Right,
and
absolutely.
whoever's above him.
Absolutely.
And it's clear, like, who's in charge here,
Yeah.
And rather than Caiaphas just stand up for it, he knows Jesus isn't doing anything.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, bro.
Right. Yeah. And I think he's kind of also trying to prevent some type of religious or political uprising.
He knows what's at stake
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
and Caiaphas is, I think Pilate is trying, you know what about we just, there's this thing, who are we going to release? And
Yeah.
it's like, give us Barabbas. What? Are you guys?
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
so-
let y'all make the decision. I'm so afraid of what making the wrong thing happen here, because I don't think he's guilty, but I don't know what's gonna happen if y'all make the decision.
But I think that was his way out.
But I don't think it's his way out, because his indecision is a decision.
I think
so.
in his mind, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's revealing his character as to this is not the first time that he's been placed in this position.
Wow.
Like, it's not, and it's
Good
like
stuff.
he gets an
Ooh.
opportunity to choose. And once again, even before Jesus before him, his character is revealed. Like,
Yeah. Jesus exposes us, man.
he does.
Listen, and the beautiful thing is when we get exposed, he gives us a chance to repent. He gives us the opportunity to come back and say, you know what, I messed that one up.
I wonder if Pilate's gonna have that opportunity.
I don't think we're going to see this.
It would have been nice.